Prince Adrian of Eldoria was known far and wide for his great power. He was born with a gift called aura, a bright, glowing energy that flowed within him like a river of light. In the kingdom of Eldoria, aura was the sign of strength, royalty, and life itself. The more aura one had, the greater their power and influence. Adrian had always believed his aura was endless. From a young age, he trained to control it, mastering skills that others could only dream of. His confidence sometimes made him proud and distant, but no one could deny his charm and strong will. One warm evening, the palace was alive with music and laughter. It was the night of the grand celebration for the kingdom's anniversary. The halls were filled with nobles and guests from distant lands, all dressed in their finest clothes. Lights glimmered from chandeliers, and the scent of sweet flowers filled the air. Adrian stood at the center of the great hall, basking in the admiration of those around him. His aura shone brightly, a golden light pulsing with power. He smiled, knowing that tonight he was the strongest person in the room. Suddenly, the doors at the far end of the hall opened with a loud creak. All eyes turned toward the entrance. A figure stepped inside, cloaked in dark robes that seemed to swallow the light. The mysterious stranger moved with a calm confidence, the eyes glowing faintly in the shadows. Whispers spread quickly through the crowd. No one recognized this visitor, and a chill seemed to pass through the room. Adrian's smile faded. He felt a strange pull at his aura, a sudden weakness like a cold wind blowing through his soul. The stranger's gaze met his, and in that moment, everything changed. Without warning, a wave of dark energy surged from the figure toward Adrian. The prince staggered, clutching his chest as if his heart had been struck. His aura flickered and dimmed, the golden light turning pale. Gasps echoed through the hall. The impossible was happening. Adrian was losing his aura, and fast. 1 million points of power drained from him in mere moments. He fell to his knees, the world spinning around him. Faces blurred as his vision darkened. The once celebrated prince was now weak and vulnerable, the source of his strength gone in a single night. As the crowd stood frozen in shock, the stranger vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared. Whispers of fear and confusion filled the hall, but no one dared approach the fallen prince. Adrian's mind raced with questions. Who was that figure? Why had they taken his aura? And most importantly, was there any way to get it back? The night that had begun with joy and celebration ended with silence and dread. For Prince Adrian, everything he thought he knew about power, himself, and his kingdom was about to be challenged like never before.
Your Highness, you are awake. How do you feel?
Weakened, Thomas. I can barely control my aura anymore. I have heard of your loss, Prince Adrian.
Prince Adrian woke to a quiet room, the soft light of dawn filtering through the curtains. He lay on the royal bed, but the comfort of the silk sheets did little to ease the heavy weight inside him. His body felt weak, unlike the strength he had always known. Most troubling was the empty space within. The aura that once pulsed brightly through him was now a faint flicker, barely there. He sat up slowly, his head spinning. The loss of 1 million aura was more than just a number, it was a part of his very being, his life force, stolen in a single night. How could this happen? And who could do such a thing? Footsteps approached the room, and soon, his closest friend and advisor, Thomas, entered. Thomas was a man of steady loyalty, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. He bowed respectfully but quickly noticed Adrian's pale face. Your Highness, you are awake, Thomas said with relief. How do you feel? Adrian forced a weak smile. Weakened, Thomas. I can barely control my aura anymore. It feels like I'm losing myself. Thomas frowned. The court is in turmoil. Rumors spread fast. Some say you were cursed, others whisper of betrayal. We must be cautious. Before Adrian could reply, another visitor entered, Elena, a mysterious woman whose presence was both calming and unsettling. She was known in the palace as someone with knowledge of the unseen and the hidden. Her dark eyes seemed to hold secrets. I have heard of your loss, Prince Adrian, Elena said softly. I may be able to help you, but the path will not be easy. There are forces at work beyond your understanding. Adrian looked at her, hope flickering. Tell me what I must do. She paused, then said, first, you must understand that your aura is connected to more than just your body. It is tied to your past, your bloodline, and the very balance of the kingdom. To regain what you lost, you must uncover the truth behind the shadow that stole it. As the day passed, Adrian struggled to regain some control over his weakened aura. Thomas stayed by his side, offering advice and protection. Elena's words echoed in his mind like a puzzle he had to solve. Outside the palace walls, the kingdom's mood shifted. Rivals and enemies began to move, sensing weakness in the prince. Some nobles whispered of seizing power, while others plotted in secret. Adrian knew he could no longer trust everyone around him. The loss of his aura was not just a personal tragedy, it was a game played by shadows, where betrayal lurked in every corner. That night, as he looked out from his chamber window at the darkened city below, Adrian realized the journey ahead would be dangerous and uncertain. To reclaim his power and protect his kingdom, he would have to face enemies both known and unknown, and confront the deeper secrets of his own heart. The Shadows game had begun.
Your family's legacy is tied to this power. I am Celine. I took your aura because the pact was broken. Greed? We have always protected the kingdom.
Days passed since the night Adrian lost his aura. Each morning, he awoke feeling weaker, but also more determined. The mysterious words Elena had spoken echoed in his mind. His power was connected to his past, his bloodline, and the balance of the kingdom. If he wanted to regain what was lost, he had to uncover the truth. Elena guided him to a hidden chamber beneath the palace, a place few knew existed. The walls were lined with ancient scrolls and glowing crystals that hummed softly. Here, secrets of Eldoria's history were kept, including the origins of aura itself. Your family's legacy is tied to this power, Elena explained. Your ancestors made a pact centuries ago with a force beyond this world. That pact gave your bloodline the gift of aura, but it also placed a heavy responsibility on you. Adrian frowned. What kind of responsibility? To protect the balance between light and shadow. If one side grows too strong, the kingdom suffers. As Adrian studied the scrolls, he discovered that his family's power came from a source called the Heart of Eldoria, a mystical crystal guarded in the deepest part of the palace. It was said to be the source of all aura in the land. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the chamber. Turning quickly, Adrian saw the cloaked figure from that fateful night standing in the shadows. Their face was still hidden, but their presence was commanding. You seek answers, the figure said quietly. But are you ready to face the truth? Adrian stood tall despite his weakness. I have no choice. The figure stepped forward, revealing a woman with eyes as dark as night and a calm, knowing smile. I am Celine, the keeper of balance. I took your aura because the pact was broken. Your family's greed tipped the scales. Adrian's heart pounded. Greed. We have always protected the kingdom. Celine shook her head. Power without wisdom is dangerous. You must learn to control your aura not just with strength, but with understanding and sacrifice. She extended her hand. Come with me. I will show you the path through the labyrinth of truth. There, you will face your fears and learn what it truly means to be the Prince of Eldoria. Adrian hesitated, then took her hand. The walls around them shimmered, and suddenly they were in a vast maze of light and shadow. The labyrinth tested everything, his courage, his heart, and his mind. He faced visions of his past mistakes, moments of pride and doubt. He confronted illusions of enemies and friends, learning to see beyond appearances. Each step taught him more about himself and the true nature of aura. At the center of the labyrinth, Adrian found the Heart of Eldoria, glowing softly. He reached out, and the crystal's light filled him with warmth and strength. Celine's voice whispered, the path to reclaiming your power is not easy, but it is yours to walk. Remember, True strength comes from balance. With new resolve, Adrian prepared to return to the world above. The prince who had fallen was beginning to rise, not just in power, but in wisdom.
Eldoria need more than strength. It needs unity and wisdom. We cannot fight shadows with darkness.
Adrian stepped out of the labyrinth of truth with a new strength coursing through him. The light from the heart of Eldoria still glowed faintly within his chest, a steady pulse reminding him of the balance he must protect. He was no longer the proud, arrogant prince who believed power was endless. He was a prince reborn, wiser, stronger, and ready to face the challenges ahead. The kingdom of Eldoria was not the same as when Adrian had left it. News of his downfall had spread, and his enemies had grown bolder. Nobles once loyal now whispered in dark corners, seeking to claim the throne for themselves. The palace was thick with tension and distrust. Adrian knew he had to act quickly. With Thomas and Alena by his side, he gathered those who remained faithful, the knights, advisors, and friends who believed in the true prince. Eldoria needs more than strength, Adrian said to his followers. It needs unity and wisdom. We cannot fight shadows with darkness. We must bring light, even to those who have lost their way. Word spread that the prince was returning with newfound power and purpose. Some scoffed, but many saw the change and began to believe again. The final test came when Celine, the keeper of balance, reappeared with an offer to restore Adrian's full aura, on one condition. He had to face the one who had challenged him that fateful night and settle the debt that had nearly destroyed him. The confrontation took place in the great hall where it all began. The mysterious figure stood waiting, no longer cloaked in shadows but revealing a face marked by both strength and sorrow. "Why did you take my aura?" Adrian asked, steady but calm. "To remind you that power without balance destroys everything," Celine answered. "You were losing yourself, and through loss, you have found your true path." The battle that followed was fierce but different from before. Adrian no longer relied solely on raw power. He used his wisdom, patience, and the lessons learned in the labyrinth. His aura flowed with harmony, weaving light and shadow together. In the end, Adrian stood victorious, not by destroying his enemy, but by understanding and accepting the balance between strength and humility. The kingdom watched in awe as their prince rose, not just restored, but transformed. His people rallied behind him, inspired by his journey and the promise of a new era. Adrian's story was no longer just one of power lost, but of power gained through growth and sacrifice. He vowed to lead Eldoria with the wisdom of the past and the hope of the future. As the sun rose over the kingdom, the prince who lost 1 million aura in one night became the prince who found 1 million reasons to protect his people and himself.